Yes, it is tiring. And from this question, actually, please put your hands down for a second. From this question, actually, I remember this very good story on Everest. Hands down, hands down. I want your attention now. Look at the pictures or look at me. That's about it. Sit down, everybody, please. Yeah. So, on my way back down, wait, hold on, I'll take questions. Wait. On my way back down, I had to be even more careful. After summiting Mount Everest, I had to go back home safely. Just climbing the mountain, just achieving my dream wasn't all about it. I had to be safe as well. I still could not lose my mind. I still could not be celebrating what I had actually achieved. But I wasn't that careful, and on my way back down, generally climbers come back to Camp 4, spend the night there, come back to Camp 3, then Camp 2, and then slowly down to base camp like this. But I said I don't want to spend lots of time in high altitudes, so I started coming back down. Didn't spend the night at Camp 4, didn't spend the night at Camp 3, straight kept walking down, and I was trying to reach Camp 2. On my way to Camp 2, there's this wall which comes in between, which was a very big obstacle on my way when I was going up as well. It's a very steep wall. It's almost 80 degrees straight. It's almost 80 degrees straight, made up of blue ice. Blue ice is really hard to climb. Blue ice is like really hard ice, and you've got to hit twice or thrice into it with your spiky boots. Sorry, to actually get a good grip on it. And it stretches over 2,000 meters. 2,000 meters is almost 2 kilometers long. A 2 kilometer straight blue wall stretching right in front of you. Coming down that phase was one of the biggest challenges again. Because when I was coming down from that phase, one time I was changing my anchors, my Sherpa wasn't with me. I took the wrong rope, went on the wrong track. Wrong rope, by saying wrong rope, it means ropes from the earlier expeditions. Took the wrong rope, went on a completely wrong track, and found myself hanging on a steep face. The rope was ending after 6 more meters, and I did not know what to do. If I would have left the rope from there, I would have fallen almost about 300 feet down into a big crevice. Again, which was so deep I could not see the base of it. It was that deep. 300 meters straight drop, and that too I wouldn't have stopped. I would have gone even more deeper. At that point of time, the only thought which was coming into my mind was, what's going to happen to my family? Like, what are they going to think? I promised my mother before coming to Everest that I will come back home safely. And you would be surprised. I wasn't a person who would actually think this way. I wasn't a person who would think so much about my family. I don't know why. But I wouldn't. But that day, it made me realize that at the end of your life, there are only 2 questions which you ask yourself. 1, are you satisfied with what you're doing? 2, is your family okay? That day, one of my questions was answered, that yes, I knew that I was satisfied with what I was doing, but the second question was still there. Will my family be okay with this? Thoughts were coming into my mind, so many thoughts. And that day I actually started asking myself that, have I been a good son ever? Did I respect my parents enough? Can you imagine I'm hanging at that phase and I'm asking myself these questions. Was I a good son ever? Or did I love my mother enough? It actually made me realize at the age of 16 that how important family is. You can dislike your parents as much as you want. They will be the harshest parents ever on you. But you've got to understand, whatever they're doing for your good. Doing it for your good, and you've got to understand that. So, with all these... It's louder. Yeah. So, with all these thoughts coming to my mind, it made me realize I can fly as high as I want to, but I will have to come back home one day. I can climb the highest of the highest mountains, but I will have to come back home one day. And that is what was important for me. That was what actually made me realize that I should not leave that rope. I was really tired. I really just wanted to leave that rope and just say, okay, let's just give up. Half of my mind was saying, just leave the rope. Leave the rope, fall. It will be over in like 2 seconds. You'll go, easy way out, right? Who wants to put in the effort of hanging there with just your two arms wrapped around one rope when you're already tired. We had been walking for 23 hours continuously that day. 23 hours in high altitude. I was burnt, I was finished to no extent. I knew I was done. That day I knew I wasn't going to make it back home safely. But what kept me hanging there? My mind looked very nice. Because it wasn't just about physical fitness, it was a lot about mental fitness as well. Being just on the top wasn't enough for me. Coming back home safely was one of the also targets which I'd set in my mind. And then I remembered one thing that, I was leaving from my house and my mom came running from behind and she's like, oh, I used to not believe in God. My mom came running from behind and she's like, oh, beta, keep this Hanuman Chalisa with you. It will protect you. And I was like, Mom, are you serious? Like, I'm going to climb Everest, When will I sit and read Hanuman Chalisa there, No, exactly, right? You're moving out of the house for like a mission and then your mom comes and she's like, Hanuman Chalisa rakh lo beta, please. करते ना मम्मी पापा नहीं करते कई बार एग्जाम से पहले ना दही चीनी खिलाते हैं बच्चों को मीठा खिलाते हैं I don't know. So yeah, all these things. So she came with this Hanuman Chalisa and I was like, okay, I'll keep it in my backpack. So I just kept it there. And I just remembered that, okay, it's in my bag. So I touched my bag and I said, God, if you're ever going to help me today. I'll never ask for anything again. Help me today, please. I want to go back home. I want to spend 1 hour with my family. Just give me 1 more hour. Just give me enough life to reach home for 1 more hour. And let me be with my mother. Let me show how much I love her. Let me be with my father. Let me show how much I respect him. Let me be with my sister. Let me just hug her once more. That is how important family was to me even then. Even when I showed I don't care about anything, I know I'll go about achieving my dreams, I don't care about what happens. But it did. When I was going to die, it did. And that was a very important lesson which I learned. You've got to come back home one day. You've got to reach back to your roots. And only a person who can reach back to his roots can actually go on achieving so much and actually go on dreaming so much. This was my journey to Everest. All I would like to say to you guys is dream big, dare to chase it. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do anything. Because it's ultimately your mind, your dreams, and your life. The story of your life has to be written by the pen which you are holding. Your hand should be alone. Your parents should not be holding your hand. You have to write the story of your life. Thank you so much. Exactly. Okay, so yeah, I did not complete the story. So when I was hanging on the rope, how did I come back again? So when I was remembering my gods, and I was singing this song because I always wanted to sing the classic Bryan Adams song, Summer of '69. I was hanging there and I'm singing this song. I'm such a horrible singer. My friends say like, we'll choke you to death if you sing. I'm not even a bathroom singer. So, so I'm hanging there and mountains as my audience. I suddenly heard the sound in the background of a huge guy coming down the steep slope. Because when we get crampons, when we walk on the ice, it crushes the ice. You can hear the sound of the ice getting crushed. And I turned back, and there's this badly burnt guy coming down. And it was a Sherpa who fought with his climber friend up at Camphor. And he said, you know what, I'm not going to spend the night with you at Camphor, I'm going down. So fortunately, he was the only guy on the mountain moving downwards from Camphor towards Camp 2 that day. And he saw me. He said, what are you doing out there? And I was crying like a baby, hanging there. And, and I'm singing the song. But then he saw me. I'm sure he must have thought I've lost it. Because he asked me, hey, what are you doing there? And I'm still singing and I'm still crying, So he came towards me. He pulled me out of it. He pulled the rope up. And today I owe my life to him. Only because of him I'm able to today come here and address you guys today. So thank you so much.